Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Key Leader Podcast, where I'm going to share nuggets of wisdom with you so that we can become unshakable. So, today, I actually want to talk to you about I think it's then my first experience with plant medicine, not ayahuasca. No, I haven't gotten to that point yet. But I had an experience for the very first time with cacao. So, I went to a cacao ceremony. And I really want to share with you what my experience was with this. To start, I had no idea what to expect, right? I've done some psychedelics here and there, very much in the past, but I didn't really know what to expect with the cacao ceremony. So we got there, and I decided to do this with three very, very special women in my life. We got there and was going to be fully in nature. I was having a really hard emotional week that week. So I was already kind of dysregulated, and I also had a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear because I didn't know what was going to happen. And so not being in control is one of those things that I can tell you that sometimes I struggle with. So getting there, I was already fearful. And when it came time to sit down and share, why are we here? What is our intention with this? I started bawling. I started crying, and I literally felt as if, because remember, I was going through a very hard emotional week. So I felt like I was at the gates of the universe, and there's no going back, and I'm at the gate and I'm fully stretched and I can't stretch anymore. I don't know what's going to happen, but all I knew was whatever it is, whatever message I'm supposed to get, just show it to me, right? Because I also felt a little bit lost during that very hard emotional week. So I felt extremely stretched, but I was ready, and I was ready to embrace whatever experience I was going to have. But mind you, I was pretty fearful of whatever that was going to be. So, first, we start to drink the cacao, and I gotta say, our facilitator, she was absolutely amazing. She really created this safe space for us in nature. So, it was really magical. Once she brought out the cacao and she kind of explained to us what cacao is, the cacao spirit, what we potentially might go through. And then it was time to actually drink the cacao. I drank it. I thought that it was going to be really disgusting. I don't know why. I think maybe I've heard different experience for other people that it doesn't necessarily have a great taste. Maybe it's also how the facilitator actually put it together, but it was a really nice warm drink. So you could really feel that warmth coming inside of you. Looking at it and setting the intention, honestly, I thought, as much as I didn't really have expectations, I thought that this was going to hit me, hit me super fast. And so I was drinking it, and we needed to do the first round of breath work. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not really feeling anything, right? That's already where I went wrong because I'm not feeling anything. What am I supposed to feel here? We did the second round of breath work, and that's when it actually started. The third round of breath work is when I completely really was fully immersed in the experience. And while you're drinking the cacao and you're doing the breath work, at one point the facilitator says that, what is your block? Right? What is the thing that you feel that's blocking you? And I already could start to feel, the earth a little bit more. I started to feel that spirit of cacao. But once she said, what is your block? It's like my whole body time traveled back in time to a moment when I was 5 years old. And I could see my parents move away from me. Now, I've connected to this part in the past, right? As a trauma informed coach, I've connected to different parts of me from the past. So I already knew that my abandonment wounds really solidified in my body when I was 5. But for the questions that I had and kind of the lost feeling that I had at that moment, I didn't expect that I was going to time travel back in time. And I saw this particular block so clearly, like literally seeing how my parents moved away from me. But what was different that the cacao ceremony really brought to me was that clear feeling of loneliness and seeing or experiencing in my body how from that moment on I closed part of my heart. And I understood from that feeling that I don't think that I've ever actually fully let somebody in. Now, this can be partner, this can be family, this can be other types of friendships, whatever it might be, right? But because of that closing of my heart when I was 5, so that my body doesn't experience that pain, I don't think that I've actually ever let somebody fully 100% in, because part of me is afraid that if I do, I'm going to lose control and I'm going to feel that same pain that I felt when I was 5 and when my parents actually separated. And so that was an incredible awakening for me because, again, I knew about that part, but even traveling back myself and already starting to work with this part, this was a different level that I had never felt before. And so it really made me understand how that particular moment in time and feeling that pain and that loneliness closed part of my heart. And since then, it's been affecting my life and everything that I create because a part of my heart is closed. And it's almost like you get amnesia that I actually forgot that this happened. So all of this time, I think that, when I'm hugging somebody or when I'm loving somebody, that I'm giving my all. But apparently, I'm actually not giving my 100% because there's a part of me that's always trying to protect me from that pain that I experienced when I was 5. So that was an incredible realization for me. And by the third time that we need to go deeper into the breath work, I could feel my whole body buzzing, literally buzzing. And the facilitator says, like, okay, put your hands where you want to put them. And so in that moment, after I saw my block, I put my hands at my heart area, and it was literally as if that energy was evaporating, kind of like the layers that I had put on over the years. And so feeling that rush in my body, at the same time, remember, I was extremely fearful of, not being in control and letting go and not knowing what I was going to experience. In that moment, I felt a level of calmness while all of this was happening with my body, but I felt a level of calmness that I had never felt before. And so that also helped me realize that, one, I was fearful of the unknown on a level that I didn't know that I was, but also letting go is the key. Now, weeks after, I experienced other things that really helped me feel that, but in that moment in the cacao ceremony, I understood that letting go on a deeper level was the key to that inner calmness that I was actually looking for, because I was kind of dysregulated that week. And so experiencing that all in my body was rushing as if all of this blood was rushing through my body, helped me understand that also my body is not mine, right? So this is an interesting concept because we think that our bodies are ours, but there's so much intelligence happening inside of your body that we are completely unaware of. In a way, our bodies are not ours. And what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to give love to our bodies. But what do we do as humans, especially when we are either fully in our masculine or we're always working, we're always doing these different things? We do not actually intentionally give love to our bodies. And that's also another realization that the cacao ceremony actually brought for me. So after the third breath work, um, the facilitator says, okay, let's stand up and kind of connect to the earth in a different way, right? And one of those things that was very, very helpful for me in that moment, because by then, after that third breath work, and I felt all of the buzzing, reminding myself that I'm safe, I need to let go. That's the moment that I fully, fully, fully connected to the cacao spirit. And I also fully connected to the earth. And in that moment, there was a rush of sensuality that came up. And for me, and maybe a lot of you, like strong, independent women, women that have also gone through, a lot of blocks in their life, at one point, we are a lot in our masculine energy. And that tends to block us from being able to connect to ourselves, being able to truly, truly connect to Mother Nature. And in a way, being so much in our masculine energy also blocks us from our own sensuality. Now, I can tell you that when I was 16, I had another experience with another, female, and that caused me to block my sensuality even more. And so, being in that ceremony, when I actually needed to put my feet on the ground, and she told us to start letting your body feel the way that it wants to feel, after many, many years, I actually felt the power of my sensuality. Very much how powerful it is. I started to feel the power of my own creativity and really feel the power of being a woman. And it's also really, really interesting because, in a way, I realized that my body was not mine. And that was very helpful to let go of certain things. And at the same time, how powerful my sensuality and my body really is. So it was an incredible experience to realize these things. I very much felt like it was a spiritual awakening. And letting that sensuality come up made me feel vulnerable in a very good way, but it also made me feel extremely proud of being a woman. It made me feel extremely happy that in this life, I am a woman and that I have the ability to feel the power of my sensuality. So, in that moment, I felt extremely connected to my own body and my own spirit. So, long story short, the cacao ceremony, my first experience with plant medicine, was an incredibly awakening experience for me. And I really understood that I need to start loving. And I think that that's what, cacao represents. It represents, a level of love and love for nature. It helped me understand that it's incredibly important to love yourself the way that you want other people to love you. We have a lot of expectations on the people that we have relationships with, but we completely disregard our own self and we completely forget that it's possible for us to love ourselves the way we want other people to love us. And if you want to attract those types of relationships, if you want other people to love you the way that you want to be loved, you have to start doing it with yourself first. A very simple example. If you're in a relationship and you want your partner to send you flowers, why in the world don't you send yourself flowers? Send yourself flowers first. And sometimes in doing that action, your partner will understand, like, oh, this is something that she really loves. Because again, as humans, we don't always communicate what it is that we actually want, and we don't communicate how we actually want to feel. And on top of that, we do not make ourselves feel that way, but we do get mad at the other person when they don't actually make us feel that way, right? So it always starts with you. Start to focus on how you can love yourself better, how you can treat yourself better. And in doing so, you are going to raise your vibration, you're going to raise your standards at one point, and you are going to communicate to other people how you want to feel and what you deserve. So, Cacao Ceremony, if this is something that you want to experience, you want to experience this deeper level of love and really connect to your heart, then doing a cacao ceremony was an incredible experience for me. So, maybe it might also be an incredible experience for you to be able to get some awakenings that you want and get more in touch with your own heart. Because I can tell you, as a trauma informed coach, we do a lot of work. I've done a lot of inner work, but going through the cacao ceremony actually helped me connect on a deeper level than I was able to for myself. So, thank you for listening today. Hopefully, these nuggets of wisdom really are going to get you to be able to connect better with yourself. And I can't wait to have our next conversation on the Key Leader podcast.